Next week is the last week, and please tell all your friends to come for the raffle. The PlayStation is already there. We got it. PlayStation 5. If by next week they come with PlayStation 6, forgive me, I don't have it. Have they come with it? Not yet. Something will happen. But I just wanted to share something with you people. As you know, this week, it's actually the two parts of the Torah that I read. And we find a certain commandment that has the same word, the same words are repeated in this week's portion, but the truth is they have totally different meanings. So the Torah talks about not hurting somebody. It says, Lotonu ishet amito. It says you should never hurt your fellow. The person shouldn't hurt his fellow. That's the first time the Torah says it. Then the few verses later, the Torah says, Lotonu ishet amito, don't bother, don't hurt your friend. Ani Hashem Elokechem, I'm your God. Adds the word. So the obvious question, Talmud analyzes everything. It says, why does the Torah actually repeat the same word, especially a few verses ahead? You remember it says, don't hurt another person. Why the second time the Torah adds the word Ani Hashem Elokechem? So actually the Bible explains, that the Talmud explains, that there's two ways of hurting somebody. One is financially, the other one is verbally. If I owe somebody money, I don't want to pay him. Or let's say somebody worked for me, I don't want to pay his salary. So I'm hurting him financially. So when the first time the Bible says, do not hurt your friend, don't victimize him, it means financially don't hurt him. If you owe him money, pay to him. That's it. That's the first time. The second time when it says Lotonu and it says I'm your God, it says verbally you can't hurt someone. And the Talmud brings a few explanations, a few examples. What does it mean don't hurt somebody verbally? Imagine somebody has a very dark past, but he doesn't do it anymore. He has repented. So every time I meet him, you're a good guy now, but remember 5 years ago, you did bad stuff. Or let's say if somebody is a good person, maybe the parents or a brother or a sister is not really that good. And then we remind him, you might be a nice guy, but come on, your parents, your mom, your dad, your brother, they're like terrible, horrible people. So these are words that actually makes us uncomfortable. Even let's say, unfortunately, let's say in certain communities, they're not used to converts into Judaism, right? So some people have like a left eye at them, like, oh. So over there, you can't remind them, maybe you're a good Jew now, but 5 years ago, I don't know what you were. You can't, somebody that became a convert. Actually, more than that, the Talmud says, imagine somebody got some tragedy happening to him, God forbid. So we go to visit him, and we tell him, you know what, God brought this tragedy because of this. You can't say that, even if it's true. When you go to visit him, you have to actually make him feel good, uplift him, not to put him down. You actually find it from, you have heard of the Eiyov, Job, J-O-B, Job. He was one of the book of the prophets. He went through a lot of tragedies. So when his friends came to see him, they were trying to prove to him that, God doesn't bring any tragedies without sins. You must have been sinful. The Talmud says that's it. You're not allowed to do that. At that time, he needs uplifting, not to put him down, even if it's definitely something which is true. First of all, we don't know, but even if it is, we can't. So now, which one is worse? Is it worse if I owe somebody money, or is it worse if I hurt somebody verbally? Verbally. I studied in a few years in a different place, different high school. It says depends how much the money is. Somebody told me. It says if it's $1 million, I'd rather have the money than being hurt. But again, actually, you're right. The Talmud says that if you hurt somebody verbally, it's worse than owing him money. And the Talmud gives 3 reasons. Reason number 1, money is not you. It's a belonging, something that belongs to you. So when I take somebody's money, something more external, even though it's very important. However, when I verbally hurt someone, I'm hurting the self, the person, which is a lot closer to him. It's not something from outside. Number 2, let's say if I owe somebody money, I don't have the money to pay him. When I pay him the money, sorry, I didn't have the money, I'm saying, but I want to pay, that's it, no more hard feelings. But if I hurt somebody verbally, even if you're going to ask for forgiveness later on, there's always a little bit of hurt left. So it doesn't always get erased. Number 3, actually, the Talmud says, that's why when it says you can't hurt somebody verbally, it says that I'm your God. Why does God have to add the words, I'm your God? Of course, I know he's our God. So it says, because usually if you owe somebody money, there's actually Jewish courts, or you go to a civil court, and you take care of it. If I'm going to say a hurting word to you, can you take me to court? You can't do anything. It's just words, they can't do anything. So because you can't really solve that problem, God gets involved, which is a lot worse when God Himself gets involved. My bodyguard came in. I want to thank you for coming. He's my bodyguard. You know that. When he comes here, nobody messes with him. I told you I had a bodyguard a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I met him in Costco. After 4 years, we recognized each other. It was awesome. Good to see you. Anyways, guys, there's another statement in the Talmud. You know, when Jacob gave a blessing to his children, so he was giving a blessing to Judah, and he said, "There's going to be so much milk in your territory because there was a lot of good grass, and the animals were healthy." It says the teeth will be white from milk. So the language is leven shinaim, white teeth from milk. You know what the Talmud says? When you smile, you show your white teeth. So when it says white teeth is better than milk, it's not talking about words, but when you smile at someone, it's much better than giving him food to eat. Because giving him food only takes away the hunger for a couple hours. When you smile at somebody, you actually could change his entire day, maybe his life even. I'm not kidding. Many times people are not happy because they think they're worth nothing. If you actually with a smile you uplift them, they feel they're worth something, you could change their life entirely. Thank you guys for listening. Let's do the, I gotta give you the gift. So what is next Monday?
Next Monday.
Monday night. Sunday, I'm sorry. Want to do that?
For you, Marathi.
I got things for you. I don't speak Spanish.
I
So God put the right on in my head.